MightyMai episode 11. Let's go.
That ETH, more ETH, give me more. That ETH, more ETH, more ETH, give me more.
If you don't have the information, one cannot seize power.
No cops on the beat. Digitize the art, having stars on the app, going hard. Mintbase, touching home, last base, this is ours. Feel these flows on the beats like lessons, my assembly line. Matter of fact, we've been producing these mad rhymes like ancient wisdom in a crystal, storing love and peace in the AR weave. Need some motivation? Come meet me at the Dub IP. Whale watching an open seat, headed to Cryptovoxels with my ID. Met a mess on my face, so I don't breathe that feet got disease. We don't own the block or control the block's name. Catch us mobilized on the blockchain.
Information is power.
Give me more.
If you don't have the information, one cannot seize power.
The system's like a pinata, but they break and keep nothing safe. We be on this web 3, where freedom might emanate. Pay you for all the plays. We play, don't play the dice. Roll the TokenSmart, want my 2 cents. Roll the post, go leave a heart. It's that beta. It's the alpha, so I fit here. Super rare, what I'm made of. DAO on arrival, wake up. That ETH, more ETH, give me more. That ETH, more ETH, more ETH, give me more.
More ETH. Give me more. Shout out to Mizery and DJ Lethal Skills for this introduction songs. And welcome to the MightyMai episode 11 already. Welcome, Mai. Here we go.
Wow, 11 episodes. Did you expect us to get to 11 episodes without getting fired?
No. Absolutely not. No, yeah, that's absolutely blessing, and thanks again to TokenSmart for this opportunity. And the feedbacks from the show has been awesome, and we felt like it bringing a federation vibe into the crypto music community, and that's what we're here for, like interaction, incubation, like work this energy out to something great. And so we're very pleased to feel that weeks after weeks after, and thanks again to the show as well as our personal work outside of the show. But yeah, that's a total blessing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, hey, well, we can dive right into it this week. Lots of news. We don't have a guest this week, but plenty to chat about. Lots of news that even happened today. We'll get to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, sure. And so, like, the feeling of the week has been that there has been a lot of distortion talks from the recent craze of NFT and the topic going mainstream. And so, in a lot of ways, and we have some anecdotes, personal anecdotes to relate about these distortions in particular, when it comes to working with artists, onboarding new artists, various levels of distortions happening right now because of the big craze. So yeah, very interesting. But we still continue to see new artists, but this time AAA top celebrities, top rock stars of the moment getting into the NFTs. And so yeah, we can start off with like Flume, which is a big electronic artist, and he made a great success over the previous Olympic Games, having his music played on Lacoste ad. And so he is definitely a worldwide known artist, and he's getting into NFTs. But we also have, names like ASAP Rocky, The Weeknd, Lupe, Fiasco, and these kinds of names. We will come to it right after. But
yeah, huge names.
Yeah, as well some developments on the technical side of the blockchains, like with the async first release. It's not already released, but they are talking about it. The first piece ever on programmable music with their system. So really interesting to dive about. Some news about Audius as well. And yeah, some chic news from our metaverse artists that are rocking the space right now and that we are about to shout out through. a short moment talking about their current success.
Right.
So, yeah, what do you feel like? What has been your feeling for this week, and like, what do you think we should start first?
I mean, hey, well, might as well start with the just discussing more big artists getting in the space, and I think maybe we can even couple that with that first topic that you have, which is distortion headlines. Like
Mm-hmm.
with the more adoption that we have, and people like the Weeknd and just huge names getting into the space, which I'm curious to talk about what their approach is going to be,
Mm-hmm.
but also just them all getting into it. Of course, now that it's undeniable that it's not going anywhere,
Yeah.
we obviously have more and more distortion, as you put, which I would just call it complete bullshit, for what NFTs are doing to the world. I think we all kind of knew, given that we all know like the impact that NFTs are going to have for the independent creator. Even though some of the bigger names are not independent, what this is going to do is obviously we need some way to detract people from wanting to get involved in the space. And I have a personal story that I would love to share at some point. That this FUD, as the crypto community calls it, is literally scaring artists away from utilizing NFTs because they genuinely believe that they're a negative that they're a negative development, that they're a negative evolution of our world. And I just find that mind blowing. And I'm curious how we've gotten here. And it's because of these distorted headlines, and for some reason the mainstream is grabbing onto the negative side of NFTs more so than the positive. So it's really, really weird to see. And like I said, I had a personal story, and I'll just briefly say it. I'm not going to say any names, but I had an artist that I was really, really fond of, a digital artist, and I finally got in contact with him, and we were talking about doing a collab for some NFTs. And I didn't mention NFTs until about 30 minutes into the conversation. But once I mentioned that I was going to be using the artwork for NFTs, he got real uneasy, and he was like, "Look, I'm not trying to get involved with the space. I don't want to be looked at like this, And he brought up the ecological impacts and all this stuff. And I was trying my best to give him my perspective without trying to sound like I was trying to sell him on doing it. But man, it was disappointing. He ended up basically telling me like we're not going to be able to work together because he has no desire to work on NFTs. So I mean, I find that the distortions from this mainstream adoption of all the FUD and the ecological impact, and it's just people trying to money grab, blah 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 blah. It's incredible to see it actually working to the point where there are talented artists who are quite literally missing opportunities to make. It's not even about the money here, but they're missing the opportunity to get their feet wet in this environment simply because they're afraid of what they're going to be looked at by their peers and by everybody else. And it's crazy. It's really crazy. So yeah. So I mean, we could talk about that. That's
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have some personal stories as well, where over the past few weeks, I feel the energy, and I'm deeply interested in the sociology, the psychology behind these movements, these trends, these topics trends, more especially than the NFT trends. But yeah, all the mainstream distortions and such. But we are going to get into it. So yeah, Flume is a big EDM artist all around the world. And so his approach is pretty simple, but he put out his own website with his collaboration with Jonathan Zawada, who made the visuals. And so they put out 4 NFTs that are 4 characters. They minted it on Foundation, but did a website to set their own their own UX, their own framework. But yeah, there's been a lot of bids already, and the echo from such artists is great, so it's catching on really quick. But some other stories went deeper. We got ASAP Rocky just tweeting NFT with a fire emoticon, just to notice that he's thinking about it, but it's not there yet. It's just I'm checking in, all good, I'm here. But then the fun starts to happen here with Gorillaz, that announced doing an NFT for their upcoming release. But at the scale of Gorillaz all around the world and the distortions from the mainstream, they strictly got attacked. Like, okay, all the community were like, no, it's a betrayal of the millennial because you did the Plastic Beach album, which is all about saving the planet and criticizing the ecological impact of plastic and the current society. And then they are announcing that they are doing an NFT, and all their audience were like, this is a betrayal from your musical message.
It's mind-blowing. What a mind-blowing fucking perspective. But go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so the group is no longer in Plastic Beach territory, and fans aren't happy about it. So yeah, it describes how the community was like not happy at all. And they get several tweets and memes, especially on that, like taking the Plastic Beach cover and saying don't support NFTs. It went pretty far, to the point where they were articles about the hot effects of NFTs on the ecological impact from Wired, which is a pretty big mainstream headline. And so yeah, to the point that someone ran a petition to stop Gorillaz from producing NFTs, and they want to reach 2,500 signature, and they already have 2,003 and 150. Okay, numbers in English. And so yeah, the petition is almost complete, and at this stage the group haven't speaked yet, so they didn't answer the polemic. But here we are. There's petitions to stop artists, and you put it that well earlier, that there is some strange force right now that is retaining artists to make a living. Like it's like, don't touch this NFT thing. It's horrible for you. We dare you to touch. How dare you use NFT? I would say. And but it's like preventing artists from a new economic model that can make thrive. So at some point we can question, why is this distortion happening? Is this a natural distortion from the networks entertainment system we have today, or is there an intention somewhere from some whoever that are trying to prevent artists to move into this space? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean that's a great way to put it, because I mean, if there's people out here making petitions to stop the Gorillaz from producing NFTs, like, that's so fucking crazy to me, because it's like, dude, there are so many problems in the world that we could create petitions for and get people behind, and there's just so much real problems going on in the world that people are oblivious to. So I think that there is a mixture of things. Obviously, people are easily swayed and easily manipulated and guilted into, joining whatever you want to call it, getting that group mentality of like trying to be a hero. I think that's one of the biggest things that we see nowadays, is everybody wants to be the person to correct the next guy, and everybody wants to be the hero. Everybody wants to be politically correct, and the social media world and the connectivity that we've had is incredible how powerful it really is. So I think it's almost like there has to be some sort of negative force that is just putting this bullshit out into the world, and then you just have a gullible layer of people that buy it. And then, like, for example, that artist that I was talking about, and then, these people don't know any better, so they're just simply going to buy what they're going to read the headline. They're going to, because they're already probably feeling uneasy about NFTs. They don't understand the technology. And this goes back to what we said at the beginning of this show. It's like, when the mainstream world gets to NFTs, they're not going to understand it the way we understand it. And so they're understanding it through this line that's sent out by somebody that's clearly trying to cause disruption, and then they buy it, and then they get guilted into believing like, oh, ecological impact, like, oh, I want to be PC, I want to be, I want to be fucking politically correct. So they buy into that, and then they start pointing out where the problem is too, because that's the culture of today's society. Everybody wants to be the fucking hero, but a little bit of research will prove that this is literal bullshit. And there's so many other things that we could create petitions for that would stop real problems in the world. Like, I don't see a petition to end the Fed. I don't see a petition to end to end real issues that are going on in the world. But people are just so gullible that they're willing to buy into it and just to try and be a hero. And it's incredible.
Yeah,
I really just don't understand it.
I agree with the chat that Polaroid, it just shows how dumb we are. I mean, I don't know, because I stay vigilant about misinformation, misintentions, like malicious intentions that can still happen, beyond the fact that maybe we are all dumb, I don't know. But yeah, definitely misdirection. Cancel culture as well, I feel it. Stop playing video games, it's bad for the environment. That's the end point. Like, don't use your mobile phone to tweet that you hate NFTs or whatever.
Bang.
That's
Bang.
that's just
Bang. Like, it's so easy to discredit the argument that it's like hard to actually discredit the argument. When something is so it's actually there's a quote, and I don't want to say who the quote's by because it'll just trigger everybody, but there's a quote from a very well-known bad person, and he says, it's not the little lie that they believe, it's the big lie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where we're at. Like, this is an insane accusation, and it's so far away from where people's like actual knowledge is that they buy it.
Yeah,
It's just such a large lie that it's like, well, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, NFTs. I knew there was something wrong with NFTs.
Yeah,
I'm not making a bunch of money on NFTs.
That's not about NFTs or blockchain anymore. It's about trending topics, and like I said, like I feel as well in my entourage and such, and in the space when I'm looking at it, is that it makes people that don't know what they're talking about looks cool. And so like you said, there must be something wrong with this NFT. I always knew it. And so it's a sociological phenomenon where people jump on a topic to, look cool in the society, but don't know what they're talking about, obviously. So, yeah, I feel...
Yeah, I love this chat, dude. You guys are cracking me up.
Yeah.
But we do got to remember, we are in this together, and it is up to people. It is up to our like us. It is up to our community, not to necessarily, because I mean, I'm not the guy to do it, because I will basically just be like, look, you're uneducated, you are stupid, and you're not meant for this. So stay where you're at.
Yeah.
But it is up to us to properly educate and to do our best to talk to these artists or talk to these detractors. And just meet them with actual facts, which, I mean, honestly, I'm not even all that knowledgeable on these things. I just simply know I can call bullshit when I see it, and I just feel, yeah. I mean, I don't understand half of the ecological impact problems of our world, let alone what an NFT would actually negatively impact our environment. So I'm not necessarily the one to do it, but if we can meet them with real information, I feel like that's the only way we can do it, is be patient, and as long as we're here as a squad, I think that we can do our best. But it's mind-blowing, but it will change. But it's just, I can't see this not being a part of the evolution now, because it's so ingrained in the mainstream conversation right now that no matter how we go forward, we can't ignore the fact that there's a good 50% of people that are buying that conversation, and they're keeping it in their minds. So it's going to be hard to talk about NFTs without somebody immediately on the other side saying, "Oh, but what about the economy, or what about the environment?" So
that makes it even more trickier to educate, because I know a lot of innocent and willing artists, talented artists, will maybe miss an opportunity by falling in this trap, and that's like you said, the responsibility from the people that actually understand the deep meaning of all this, to try to rebalance the topic, but at the same time it adds it definitely adds a new level of difficulty doing so, because it mess, with everyone's brain, and so yeah, that gets tricky. But definitely, I think it's from the community to reach out to the artist and prove as well through innovations and through various things that all these accusations are false and doesn't work over time. And at some point we will reach the feeless and gasless and instant technology level, where all these talks will slowly disappear. We are again talking about Ethereum, and so the grandparents of today's technology, and so yeah, people have absolutely no idea about the fact that these problems are currently being solved and pretty well. So yeah, it's just a bad moment to witness.
Right. I mean, this just, once again, this shows how powerful fear really is to the majority of people. Is we're more swayed by the fear of being judged by our peers and by the world around us than we are to actually get involved in the space and really see it for our own selves. We're more drawn to fear because fear is such a strong energy that the second that we see a reason to fear something, a lot of people are so, uneasy. And this is more of like an individual thing. It's not, and I'm not trying to make this sound like it's not a real issue, because I think like we all struggle with things that cause us to be susceptible to fear. But that fear that's lingering within all of us, they know how to tap into it. And so they tap into that, and then it just is easy for us to bite on it and be like, you know what, I am afraid too. I'm afraid like everybody else, and you should be afraid, and we shouldn't get involved with this because blah 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 blah. So it just shows how powerful that energy really is to sway the people, rather than true logos, true fucking knowledge, true logic, which is really not hard for the majority of us that are here right now, of course. And I mean, look, if there's anybody here that genuinely believes that this is an ecological negative thing, I would love to talk to you. Like, I would love to hear where that problem is and how you can explain to me why NFTs are actually a negative trait, which they're not. I mean, like, look, you're not going to sell me on it, but I would just love to hear somebody bring it up. I would just love to hear their point of view rather than reading some fake article that's written by somebody who's clearly paid to write it. And it's just meant to detract us. So yeah, I mean, we could talk about this the whole show, because this is a real problem right now. But
yeah, I see there Milena talking about the dad issues about technology, and I have a fun story. When I was onboarding KazLab, in the space about music, she sold some pictures with some artworks through the blockchain. And so she was telling her dad, like, hey, I found something, I sell art on the blockchain. So, I take pictures, we glitch it, and we do some, innovations on how to do those piece of art, and we sell it on the blockchain. And before she was, showing that to her dad, the dad imagined, like, okay, my daughter is selling picture over the internet. She's doing porn, and so she had to explain, no, Dad, I'm not doing porn. I'm selling actual pictures, artworks on the blockchain. And so there's the distortions as well from the through different generations as well, to understand the new tech and to learn about this new paradigm. So that was just a funny story to share. But yeah, we could go about it for the whole show. I had this article that I found pretty funny, which says Kings of Leon became the latest musician to enter the crypto game. And so that's, the boomerang coming back right in your face. That's how I see it. About, again, the headlines, Distortions, claiming that they were the first, and so they got trapped into the distortion topics, and then I think they may have had some feedbacks about it, and to the point that some articles are writing that, okay, they claim to be the first, but maybe they are the last because of the current topics, So, yeah, this is pretty funny.
That is hilarious. Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? Kind of.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, again, big names. We get the Weeknd, Lupe, Fiasco as well. I mean,
I'm real excited to see what people like Lupe and what the Weeknd do with NFTs, because once again, my biggest interest when I see a big artist get into this space, I'm curious what they're gonna do and how they're going to make it unique, or if they're just popping into the space and doing something that everybody else is doing. I don't know. I think that this is pretty much I think that this is the best opportunity for the mainstream to see somebody huge do something really next level, where they're giving an overwhelming amount of value through an NFT. Whereas most of these NFTs that we're seeing by big artists, they're offering some cool stuff. I definitely think it's cool, but I'm more curious to see them do something next level with it, rather than just, hey, here's an exclusive one of one NFT, and it comes with, maybe an exclusive song. But I want to see them do something next level, and I don't even know what that is, and I'm not judging if they don't. That's what's going to excite me about somebody like the Weeknd doing it. So, is there any insight onto what somebody like the Weeknd is doing? Do you know?
No, he said it's going to be part to his next album, I believe, but it's not released yet. So it's like coming soon. So yeah, we don't know about the Weeknd, how he is going to do it, but it's going to be part of his upcoming work, on DAORecords. But Lupe Fiasco, actually, he's going to do a collection called Food and Liquor, as you can read, and I don't have all the extent of it. I may have to read into it, but I encourage everyone to do so and see how it goes. So, Lupe Fiasco Food and Liquor is a groundbreaking hip-hop album released on September 2006. Okay, so it's going to be like all work put out to the blockchain.
Right. So what do you think he's doing here? Did he say what he was doing with this old? Because if you're doing an old piece of music, it best come with something special. Otherwise, it's just like,
what
come
up,
on,
y'all?
bro.
It's Lupe Fiasco. Just letting you know I will be performing my first album, my baby, Food and Liquor, in its entirety, April 15th on Future Stream, right? So make sure you go up, swipe up, grab the tickets. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a virtual show. It's gonna be fantastic. We're doing a whole show from beginning to end, the whole album, Food and Liquor, from beginning to end on Future Stream, April 15th. Swipe up, get your tickets right now. We'll be having an exclusive NFT, which will be dropping April 12th. April 12th, don't miss out. We're gonna have an exclusive NFT, little Lupe Fiasco situation, Food and Liquor. So make sure you tune in for that and enjoy the show. I'll see you there, all right? Peace.
Nothing much, an exclusive NFT, I believe, around the concept of his virtual show, but no particular dynamic, I believe.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean that's unexciting to me, but I mean it's still, I mean, whatever. Do your thing. Come out, do some cool stuff. What's Future Stream, by the way? Is this something I'm unaware of?
I've never heard of it, so I cannot say. But yeah, that's about all the big stars for this week, and maybe we should dive in a little more about what's happening with the metaverse artist side. What's cooking, right now? What's hot?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely got our fix in for the mainstream. Let's see what the small guys are doing. the real innovators.
So yeah, a new drop from Blow and SSX Blow. So they are experimenting an interesting dynamic where basically it's kind of tricky, like, and they know it, so they explained it, so not to be rushed with too much question. But basically, the idea is that there will be Faces NFT from a limited SSX Blow collection, and if you burn 6 faces, it unlocks a limited edition SSX Blow NFT. So it's kind of a mechanism where you would have to burn pieces to get a new pieces right after. That's the idea.
Okay. Hey, hold on, real quick. BruceTheGoose, you said you wanted to interject for a moment. I would be happy to hear your thoughts or what you were gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the topic of mainstream people coming into the space,
yeah.
Snoop Dogg, Tony Hawk, and Lionel Richie are all about to be coming in hot.
Yeah, I saw Tony Hawk. I've read a word about Snoop Dogg, but haven't seen it properly. And yeah, that's crazy.
It's
Tony Hawk, I've
from
seen in the.
Crypto.com NFT platform.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Crypto.com, they started an NFT platform.
Oh.
Snoop Dogg and Lionel Richie are dropping.
Okay.
Oh wow. I use crypto.com. Nice.
They have Aston Martin NFTs up right now.
Yeah, crazy. Has it dropped yet?
Not yet. The platform is up, and they have Aston Martin up right this moment, and then Snoop Dogg and Lionel Richie are supposed to be coming up next.
I mean, what's amazing about those names is they all are from such different places, and they're all doing. I mean, of course, Lionel Richie and Snoop Dogg are obviously music, but you know, different styles, like different worlds, and then you have fucking Tony Hawk. I mean, this is what's showing how diverse and how this is going to impact everybody, which is nothing new. Everybody here knows this, but it's just, once again, I mean, it's just, if you are denying that NFTs are not going to be a massive industry of whatever's, and yeah, sure, like maybe they'll be way different in the future, but if you don't understand that this is like definitely a real fucking thing by now, like you're lying to yourself and you're just simply like not paying attention, because these are all such different walks of life, you know, not to mention like when you see athletes like Rob Gronkowski getting into it as well, which, you know, that was a couple weeks ago, but I mean, like everybody is finding their way into this space. So that's super interesting. But I'm curious to see what Snoop Dogg does. I'm curious to see what Tony Hawk does. Tony Hawk's a genius, and Tony Hawk is a massive legend. So I'm real interested to see what someone like that does with NFTs.
Yeah. I've seen it, yeah. Actually, to tell you about what you just mentioned before, and maybe it's just my, conspiracy minute, but I cannot, not think that at this point NFTs reached the, any higher level we can, any secret society, any major level, anything that it reached everyone right now. And I've seen, moves that some occultic power may have already entered the space for a few times now, and that it definitely influence or can influence the narrative here, and we can see it with the mainstream and the big headlines. I mean, I don't know to which extent this exists, but I'm pretty sure that some power we are seeing in the narratives are not, all of them are not innocent. That's what personal conclusions.
No, I totally agree with you.
But so the Hong Kong-based exchange announced the launch to Tuesday, claiming it will be the world's largest and most user-friendly NFT platform. And when it comes to Snoop Dogg, Boys George, for example, will he mix his music with animated and still versions of his artworks. And so yeah, Snoop Dogg, Lionel Richie, and more. Indeed. Thanks, Bruce.
Oh. Yeah, this is really, I didn't know it was exclusive with the crypto.com. That's fucking sweet. That's what I use. So hey, shout out crypto.com.
Shall we play this little clip? I don't
I
know.
understand that you have.
No, later.
Love it.
But yeah, interesting. So yeah, Blau, interesting as well. Dynamic. I'm curious to see how this will unfold, and to see how the dynamics really roll out. But yeah, other metaverse artists crushing it, and I think about Panther Modern, which we had 2 weeks ago on the show, that sold this NFT for 9.6 ETH, which is his music video ATDG. So thanks, Panther Modern, because I now know what the short version that I own is worth, which is interesting to analyze here. But yeah, big congratulations. It was collected by, I had this information today that 3F Music may be one of the biggest collectors on Foundation. So big shout out to all for this amazing move. And he's crushing it as well, having a release out on the catalog official drops, because catalog are releasing artists, slowly with some batches artists every week. And Panther Modern just released a song that is now up on catalog. So maybe we could just play it for a minute.
What were you thinking? What were you thinking? Was this wrong? Were you right? Were you dreaming? My life, fast as I'm feeling, fast as I'm moving, faces were turning, and I was just on. Forward and moving, forward and moving, forward and moving, forward and moving. I was just thinking, faces were turning, I was just on. Forward and moving, forward and moving, forward and moving, forward and moving, forward and moving. I was just thinking, faces were turning, bases were moved. I was just on. Forward and moving, forward and moving, forward and moving, forward and moving.
Yeah, I definitely love this vibe from Panther Modern. And yeah, he's crushing, so I really wish him the best. And the energy has been great since start, and the creativity out of this man is just genius. So yeah, go make sure to check his work,
Oh yeah.
as well
Oh
as
yeah, definitely shout out.
yours.
Definitely great to see. Definitely great to see a guest that we've had on the show be successful on in his endeavors. This is good news for the show. Definitely means that the show obviously was massively impactful for that sell.
I'm sure.
No, I was fine. That's good stuff, but no.
But
That track was really interesting too. I mean,
yeah.
what were you thinking?
No, I love the vibe. I mean, I'm electronic at core. That's my first love out of classical music school, So that definitely he is right up my alley, and I can feel, his energy out of it, and I love it.
Yep.
So, but I wanted to shout out as well your work and Connie's digital work, your recent release. like it's starting very well. It's up on Audius, and the NFT is about to be released at the end of this week on April 5th. And so, but before that, Connie, put the audio inside his parcel, so you can check it as well in Cryptovoxels, and the experience is great here. If you haven't already visited Connie's place, you can look up for it in the search bar and then get a piece of listening of staking that we heard.
You see a man like me, man, I'm out of control. Won't do what I'm told, I'm doing the most. Back from the living, I'm killing them dead, leaving them red. The message, I got it, I heard what you said, but I don't care no more, nigga. Open the door, I won't knock no more, jigger. Open the door, bang. I'm here to do things, run it like Hussein Bolt. Killing the game, the only way to promote. You see a man like me, man, I'm out of control. Won't do what I'm told, I'm doing the most. Skirt, I'm on the road in beast mode. I need dough, I bake it and break bread with you too. Invest in me like I invest in you. Yeah, I'm pulling up, I'm in the vestibule. Getting money round here, staking tokens. Yeah, it's sunny round here, smoke is potent. And it's gully down here, I thought I told him. Don't act funny round here unless you holding. Getting money round here, staking tokens. Yeah, it's sunny round here, smoke is potent. And it's gully down here, I thought I told him. Don't act funny round here unless you hold it.
So yeah, how has it been since the release of the track? Have you had some good feedbacks and stuff?
Well, I'm pretty like detached when it comes, like, once a song gets released, I'm pretty like, I try to like just move on. Not like I don't want to like think about like it's done, you know. I mean, it's out there. I'm hoping people enjoy it. And I try not to pay too much attention to the reactions of things, but I mean, I think the release is going well, you know. I mean, I'm excited about it. We're actually we're doing a live stream after this, Connie and I, to break down the beat. I'm gonna break down how I made the beat and how we went about making the track, which is gonna be cool. And then the live stream will actually live. It'll be archived and it'll be token gated within the NFTs that we are dropping. So and this will actually be my first experience being involved with an NFT drop for the first time. It's not my particular NFT, but being that I produced a track, it's the first time I'm kind of a part of something. So pretty excited, a little nervous, but I'm excited to see how it does and you know, just the process. But no, I mean, like the track is dope. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and the
I did
token
pop the
gate.
cherry.
Yeah, the track is definitely dope, and the token gate access with exclusive content of you guys explaining the song and break it down, the beat and everything is definitely an interesting concept. I mean, when you think about the making ofs business and stuff, that is definitely a fascinating part of the music industry in general. I mean, everyone wants to, you know, see behind the scenes, since the behind the scenes are, you know, well made, well thought as well, even though it's something spontaneous that or, you know, collections of video of the whole history when it goes to a longer time frame, sorry. But yeah, just a simple explanation, you know, extra content that is tied to an NFT or a specific music release is something really interesting to me to explore, and I think having your experience from that will be inspiring for many people.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I know. I'm excited to share it. The creative process is always something that's very random for me personally. So hopefully I can express how what I was thinking about properly. But you know, hey, if you're available later tonight, I know that I'm gonna be doing it live, so you could catch the live version. But it's gonna be unpublished the second it's done. So
exclusive opportunity worldwide. Let's catch that.
Right.
All right. So yeah, we'll see. We will document this adventure over time, I believe, as well. So that's cool, and I wish you the best with this track. I love it personally.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got plenty more on the way too. We've made quite a few amount of tracks, and not sure exactly what the release process will be for those, but yeah, we definitely got some more stuff lined up very similar energy. Very
Mhm.
Yo, did someone just walk in that parcel? Did you see that?
Yeah. People are visiting. The link has been dropped in the chat, so people can go and check it. And
Oh, it's Juxon.
yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, this week as well, there's been a lot of interesting talks amongst the metaverse community, and I wanted to shout out Bitcoin Live because they invited me to talk about what happened since 1 year in NFT and talk about the music and NFT to their community, which I thank a lot. And at the end of the interview, we talked about the audio gang, all this community, and they asked me, could you mention the names? And so I did this tweet with all the names from in my landscape as much the best I could. And from here, Mizery, and shout out to him again, answered like, I want all these names into one collaboration. And boom, something started out of this. I mean, the first second I saw it, I was like, yeah, just genuinely, yeah, that would be fun. But, let's not dream too much too quick or too fast. I don't know. And but I went dinner, and 1 hour later, when I came back, I saw, all the OGs answering that call and saying, okay, maybe that's the right moment in time to do so. And so it was fascinating to see such energy of everyone answering the call and saying, yeah, we should think about something like this. Maybe it's the right moment to think about it right now. We definitely have a great promotion of artists, a whole class, the early 2021 crypto music promo that starts to outline itself. And that it would be definitely interesting to all connect together and see if something can build on such a scale. So I think I felt like a lot were interested in stress testing this energy. And so, yeah, we consulted feedbacks and talked with Mizery, and also shout out to Boombox Head that answered that call to help organize something like this. And yeah, we started to look for a solution. Is this thing possible today? And so yeah, interesting. But as well, on other talks like we had on previous weeks about the music island, I feel that lots of artists are actually thinking really seriously about this. I came across a document this week that basically is a whole proposition about how to, organize a DAO music island on something like Cryptovoxels. And so this work is really, really advanced. And I will drop the link in the replay. But it seems like these ideas are pretty serious and running again and again and again in the music community's mind, to a point where they will happen at some point, where I do believe that they will happen in many ways. And that, to me, it's what's exciting to maybe participate in trying so today. And maybe we fail today or tomorrow, but we'll start again until something like this is possible. But yeah, a lot of great ideas, hot takes, and genius mind over these new topics about how to organize Web3, and especially for the benefit of music. And because when you think of it, this environment or these kinds of projects or talks will definitely create the culture around music on Web3 to the point where it will be more easier for onboarding artists or people learning about it to get educated, to see the fun and the gamification that is happening or possible, but more especially to feel the energy from the community, that they are not alone or isolated, and that their art count on the blockchain. But yeah, it's still a wild west, and everyone is not getting love. Especially, it's not like all utopia, but definitely there's something special here that can help prevent harm, and as well as help, build oneself to the direction of success. So yeah, very interesting to be part, to witness all this energy and talks, and even if that fails, that foods for thoughts that is priceless, definitely. So shout out to the whole audio gang, and yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, speaking on the first thing that you mentioned, and we can talk about the Artist Island too, but yeah, to frame up that MetaCollab or the mega collab, yeah, like I saw that tweet, I read it, and I was like, yo, this is genius. And I know me and you, we've had many talks about bringing together a large amount of artists that are exclusive to this community and saying, hey, if we all did something together and really did something next level, something that nobody is really doing right now, it could really do something for the community as a whole. So I really, really am keen on getting this idea together. And I know that there's a lot of good, intelligent minds that are about it. So I'm really excited to see that develop. But yeah, I mean, just making something that nobody else has made, and this is kind of the advantage that we have as being small and new in this space, is that we have these ideas that are fresh, and these are the ideas that somebody like The Weeknd wouldn't come up with, because they're in a way different bracket of like just simply success, and so they're not going to think that type of creatively. They're going to think how to make the most. They're looking at it as a way to make the most money. I really, I'm not trying to say it's always about money for these big name people, but when we get in there, I see that we are forced to innovate. We are seeing the newness of it. We kind of come at it from a fresh perspective, and it gives us an opportunity to break into the world in a new way. So I think it gives us the advantage of invention to break into this world. So I think that yeah, as long as we can execute on the idea, I can see it being huge. I mean, imagine 30 exclusive blockchain music artists creating and collaborating on an album that is completely backed by themselves and done in a very unique, decentralized way, so to speak. And this is it's all so new. Who knows how that's going to go?
And
but,
there's definitely a lot of challenges here, and so
Definitely.
it's about doing it step by step. So the first step is really doing the very simplest thing, like 30 people, one NFT, and let's create and make sure everyone has their MetaMask address on that NFT, and then from here we can start collaborating on something. And but that's yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah, I totally agree though with Huber Snake. It's not about money, but there is some sort of advantage that we have as being still kind of struggling artists that are like, hey, we need to come up with something that's gonna really do something different. And these super rich people aren't going to do that. These super successful people aren't going to do that. They're going to come up with a way to basically pimp themselves out, exploit themselves. Whereas we can't do that because we can't really exploit something that isn't really all that popular yet. So we're forced to invent something new that then does do that type of thing. So in BB Studios, you said it for me. I was actually thinking of the quote, but necessity is the mother of invention. I love that. It's very true too. Whenever you're kind of forced to, you do something different, and that kind of is always going to, I mean, that's how new music gets made. You know what I'm saying? Like, new music and fresh music is created out of the impetus of being sick of what's already there. So I don't know if I use that word right, but hey, you know what I'm saying? Why not test it live?
Yeah, no, totally. And there was something I wanted to add up, but I kind of forgot it.
But the Music Island 2 is another idea that I do see as being incredibly beneficial to this community. I mean, basically the benefit of us being here this early, if we don't find a way to really like gatekeep ourselves even, because there is going to be a mainstream adoption in the metaverse. There's going to be a mainstream adoption in all of these things. And if we can set ourselves up so that when they come here, when the big names come here and we already have something that's super valuable, that's what's going to benefit us all, you know? Because like, say, you know, Columbia Records is like, hey, I want to get in on this music island, and we have it all, and we have the leverage then.
Yeah.
Where that's almost like what we want to try and do, is create something so powerful that when these big names come in here, they have to do business with us. They can't just come in and buy us all out or buy up all this land and then basically fuck everybody else over. Do you know what I mean? We have to find our way to build something that's not only new and fresh, but it's going to keep us in the position of being early, which gives us some leverage to dominate and do business correctly with these people, because that's going to happen to me. At General Cups and Alone is the core idea behind the Wabba Jacket DAO. BruceTheGoose, what are you talking about? I'm curious about this. What's the
So
go.
it hasn't been summoned yet, but the Webjack DAO is going to be what oversees NFT Hub and Nifty Pride and whatever other projects I come up with. But also, like, the basic idea behind it is I started thinking about it months ago, like before we had any idea mainstream adoption was anywhere on the roadmap.
Right.
But like, basically, it's inevitable that big tech's going to come in here and try and roll over all of
100%.
us. And the more united we are as a community, like, whether or not we're all doing our own different things, like, the more we're all like willing to stand together against that inevitability, the better off we're going to be.
Super true, dude. Couldn't agree with you more. And I'm real interested in what that is. Like, maybe we can talk about it a little more in depth, because I'm curious what it exactly, and how we can get involved ourselves, and how we can put it on a little bit more so that we can get more people involved. But
yeah, like, I'm gonna summon it soon. I wanted to do it on Colony, because they have like a subdomain thing where like you can build a meta DAO and like have DAOs underneath it, and they each have their own tokens and
Colony?
stuff, and they each have their own treasury. I'm supposed to have an onboarding call with them today for the early access for the new version of it, but then I slept through it.
okay, that's fire.
But
Yeah.
I'm also thinking of maybe just doing it on Matic with DAO House. Everything should be moving to layer 2 at this point anyway.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for that.
Basically, it's about like bringing people together as like to unite against the inevitable entry of big tech and stuff like that, and then B, like, there's so many people in this space with amazing ideas and are incredibly creative, but don't have like either the funding or the team or the community building, etc., to get the stuff done. And like, the more we all come together, it's like, oh, let's build this, and there's like a couple hundred of us instead of like a handful of us that are like close friends, you know, like, it's like, oh, we need developers. It's like, we got developers. We need artists. We got artists. Like,
I totally agree, man. Yeah, I mean, that's
basically rising tide lifts all ships. So we may as well be that tide.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah, and that's the type of thinking. Dude, I love where your head's at, because that's absolutely the type of thinking we need to properly set ourselves up, so we don't just get fucking washed by these big name companies. We need that leverage. We need it. So I'm 100% in support of that. I'm 100% down to help out in any aspect that we can, to get that going even bigger.
Yeah, feel free to hit me up. Like, I did a thing about it on Twitter the other day where, like, because I've been playing Keyboard Warrior about all this like horrible propaganda against crypto art and NFTs. I've been on so many sites I'll probably never go back to, just like following the breadcrumbs and playing Keyboard Warrior.
Hey, man,
Skinny did a contest recently. It was a Burn the Copycats contest, because like the people that did the Burnt Banksy were saying like it's the first time anybody's done that. Skinny was like, no, burn my art and put it on NFTs. Like, there's a lot of people claiming first in the world, but they're not.
Facts.
So like, the first initiative idea for Webjack DAO is like, the first thing we need to focus on is like the NFT Historical Preservation Society. Like, we can set up an RWeave thing, and like, we can document all the shit we did that like, we have proof of now, put it on RWeave so it can never be removed. Because like, all these people coming in don't know our history and don't know our culture, and they are shitting all over.
100%. And dude, they can come in like we all know, and we've seen throughout history, these rich ass companies can easily pop in, throw some money at something, and create their own history like immediately. It's not hard, because people are they're so easily manipulated by a mainstream source of information. They look at that as the ethos rather than the actual facts. and they don't really take the time. So if we don't do it, you're absolutely right. They're going to pop in here and they're going to basically rewrite fucking history right on our faces. And we're all going to be like, what the fuck? You know, I saw a tweet from Rizzle today and I thought it was hilarious. He's like, I can't wait for mainstream adoption to come into the metaverse and then basically just completely ignore everything that the whip has done, everything that TokenSmart has done. And he's like, I'm just going to be pissed when it happens. It's like, dude, it's hilarious because it's so true. And like, but that also is a responsibility on us, and we are slightly accountable. Like if we don't do what you're talking about, Bruce, because it's like we have to build these moats so that when these people come in, we can take their money. Because that's the thing, we're not going to stop them from coming in. We're not going to stop them from doing what they're going to do. They've done it forever. They're not going to not do it. So we just have to create the best defense possible to give ourselves the leverage so that we can do business with them and on our terms. You know, it's going to be tricky, but that's 100% where our priority should be if we are going to be stationed here and and you know, trying to make sure that we don't get completely rolled over by these big money people. So
but
I love the idea.
Do you realize they might be listening right now, so they know now your strategies? But no, I do feel from
totally
what you say, Bruce, is that I agree on the fact that the mainstream culture of it everyone will not go inside, you know, the blockchain and properly read the record. So there will need a middle layer, which will basically come from the community to highlight the moments and filter those to tell the story that is required to be preserved. And we saw it in music. A shout out again to Studio Nouveau, which is started to collect the NFT music history as best as he can. I mean, like I did with the mind map as well, like try to map the history of it. But I feel this energy is present, and definitely as well in the visual art and all that NFT can touch right now. So, but I'm glad to hear about what you're talking about, because it sounds really special and going toward that direction. So yeah, I would definitely love to hear more of this initiative and maybe connect the music to it. And I don't know, like
everybody in the NFT space is welcome. Like it's not about just art and shit. Like it's about, we've been here
100%
this space, and like if you're gonna come in my house, like you're welcome to come into my house and have dinner with me if you're hungry. But things change real quick when you walk in my house and take food off my plate.
100%. I like what you're saying too, because the one thing that I think we have is the one thing that we can kind of remember, and the one thing that's maybe tricky is if you are here right now and you are in this chat, if you are listening to this right now, you are on the right side. This is our team. This is our squad. We might disagree. We might all be like still feeling like we're in competition, but like we're not. Everybody who's here right now, we need to realize that if we all band together, we all find a way to really come together as a squad, that's only going to benefit us all in the long run. Like we need to stay strong as a group. We can't be divided. We can't find ourselves trying to compete with one another. I know me and Mighty have these conversations all the time. Everyone's trying to do something fresh.
Yeah, like we don't have to all get along, but we do have to all accept that mainstream adoption is coming, and there's a lot of parts of it that are not positive.
Yeah, 100%. And the more that we can create something large as a group together, the more leverage we are going to have. Power in numbers, 100%. Like that is our biggest thing.
And the creativity,
but
the
these
craft, the power, the artistic power.
100%. And it's the biggest thing that sometimes is hard for us to do, because we're like conditioned when you're on the bottom to like look at everybody as like, oh, like if they're making it, like I can't make it. But we have to be as squatted up as possible. We got to create these things. And if you see two people creating a very similar thing, make those two people have a conversation and see if they can join that idea together to make that idea not only more strong, but even larger in its adoption. But that is the biggest thing that we need to try and do is and I see it happening. It's definitely, I see people doing the right thing, but I see multiple people trying to create the exact same thing. And it's like, look, those two people just need to have a conversation and join it together and make it one thing. Because if we can all stay very strong and tight knit, that is what's going
And
to keep us
you know,
100%.
I just remember what I wanted to say earlier. It's about the, the meta collaboration, and I've talked to Lil Siri that told me that previous attempt to do so has already been made, but because of many challenges, it got stuck into the various steps that it's required to be complete. And so let's consider there's 5 steps to complete such a project, and they were stuck at the 4th because they didn't had the proper resource at the time to go over all the challenges that such a scale project brings. But right now I feel like this 2021 crypto music promo that we now have, and the level to which we connected all together already, have all the assets to make this now possible. We have musicians, vocalists, rappers, MCs, we have producers, turntablists, and everyone at the highest skills, the work of art, the best master of skills in many dimensions. So it's just about having the right coordinations, but seeing this energy, I feel like I don't want to see it die, in some way. So when I saw that manifesting and being real, I was like, okay, I'm like ready to not sleep over the next month and give all my skills to try coordinate that as a producer, and having the habit. This is my aquarium. This is where I feel good. I know how to play with artists and this in general. So we set a call to set a framework, just make sure that this is technically possible, and then I'm sure, and we talked MAiWORLD, and I talked to many artists that the tension is still here, definitely, and I feel that everyone wants to see this happen, because what it represents is that such collaborative effort from all master of their art, what it represents in the end is so powerful in many ways when it comes to people learning about this culture. For what it represents, like, okay, you can do collaboration with 30 people, what the fuck, but also a message to the mainstream and the music industry saying like, okay, this is a big community. It's like having 30 mega artists working all together to go against you and create their own world. It's really powerful, it means a lot in many ways, and so yeah. And it goes in the right direction, I believe, in the ideology of defending what the metaverse and Web3, what we want to go, what it represents for everyone. And so, yeah, I'm definitely curious. That's the beginning of it, and we will document it over the weeks if that works. But this is something that makes everyone vibrate, I feel.
100%. So yeah, I mean, we know what we must do. We know what we must do. But we are family. We are here. Squad up. Squad up. Can I get squad up? No. But yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, I think it is. I think we all have the right mentality, but it's just stand strong, and just these conversations are great, and then it's just about continuing these conversations with the right people. Like Easy just said, Cypher and DAORecords working together on a DAO beat battlefront, and Cypher on the rap battle tip, like pulling every big thing together and making sure that everybody can stay as strong as we can as a group, and not to be super I mean, just it's tricky though. I mean, like I said, we're conditioned sometimes to feel like we're in competition with everybody around us, but if you are here this early, if you are doing something with any of these groups, if you're in this TokenSmart, like you're the OG, and that you are responsible to try and be as connected to everybody as possible. So more power to us for that. But yeah, hell, shit. I was gonna say we could talk. This is a good talk. This is a good conversation though. I like this, but yeah, we could talk about this all day.
Yeah, so yeah, shout out to DAORecords. That's a good transition, because they did the first piece on the new version of Mintbase on their testnet, and we are actually trying to look for a solution for a mega split contract, for 30 people. That's something tricky because the advancement of royalties right now is not up to this point, or it is, but it's really fresh, very new. So and Mintbase may have a solution for us. So DAORecords got their first experience testing with the NEAR protocol, and they are about to release the new version on the NEAR protocol very soon. So I'm definitely interested to look this way because the gas issue, no one is still talking about it anymore because it's like a kind of normal situation for everyone today, but it is not. And so still I felt like everyone just keep quiet until a solution comes now, but here is a solution. I mean, the NEAR protocol has great promises, and it may allow to mint on Ethereum without the gas fees. So I'm definitely interested in if we can do something with this mass collaboration and on a new technology that is at the same time incarnating the best practices, like new tech that solves problems. And this, as a community move as well, I feel is a powerful message if we do so. So here we go. Shout out to DAORecords for the testnet first tries. And to move on, we wanted to talk about the audio rewards from Audius. They just released an artist mentioning that they are implementing this feature, which will give rewards, add a reward system on top of their monetization system. It is not the monetization system, but it's on top of the monetization system. And so the idea would be to add additional value for if you are in the top 5 weekly trending track, for example, or in top 5 weekly trending playlist, or if you're one of the top 10 monthly API application, or if you verified your account with a check mark on Twitter or on Instagram. So pretty interesting. I know you might well have some takes on that and some critique maybe.
Well, I mean, look, I first of all, I fuck with Audius heavy. I think that they're definitely doing like incredible things. They're obviously
I don't want to
very
put you
much
into trouble.
No, right. They're like I got to start off by saying like the positive stuff. Obviously, I fuck with Audius. Audius is the first. I mean, I put my music on. The first place I ever uploaded my own personal music was Audius, and their team reached out to me within like a couple days, and they were incredibly encouraging of me as an artist. So I shout them out for that forever. Particularly Clayton. But yeah, I mean, I love that they're moving forward. I mean, if you see their token price rising incredibly over the past week, so obviously they're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes that's extremely bullish, I guess you could say. But yeah, and I like that they're adding rewards, but just to critique is important, I think, and just maybe just like an opinion that maybe you could look at it like criticism, but these are great that they're offering rewards, but I think everybody can realize very quickly that these 4 things are only going to benefit the big name people still. The top 5 weekly trending track, that's really only going to benefit these big artists that pop onto the track or onto the site, and people are like, oh my god, this guy who I know from everywhere else is on Audius, and then everyone's going to listen to his music on Audius, and then that dude's going to be trending. It's not going to be some low level independent artist who's strictly on Audius. And then the top 5 weekly trending playlists, I think that was put there to maybe benefit the non-artists who maybe are just good at curating whatever. I have a question about that. It's like, is that top 5 weekly trending playlist, is that going to benefit everybody in the playlist, or is that just going to benefit the playlist curator? These are just a couple things that I'm thinking of. And then top 5 monthly API app, I mean, once again, it's really only going to benefit somebody who is strictly driving mad traffic to the site, which is that going to be an independent solo artist that's just putting their music up on Audius because they're trying to get rid of the traditional world? Most likely not. And then once again, first verified account upload. I mean, that's obviously not benefiting a low-level artist. They need to be verified on Twitter and Instagram, where to get verified on Twitter and Instagram, you obviously have to be very you obviously got to be really well known in the already mainstream world. So these rewards are beneficial to, once again, bigger named artists. So I mean, we could take this as critique or negativity towards Audius, but it's really just like, when are they going to? And I think that they are. I definitely, you know, I've talked to people very high up in the Audius development team and community, and you know, they're definitely finding ways to give audio to the smaller artists, to the smaller named people. But the question is really like, is this really is this really going to benefit any of us? I mean, look, I think that the token price going up is going to benefit all of us, and I think getting bigger named artists onto the platform is going to benefit us all in the long run. But this is not necessarily something that's really affecting the majority of people, and it's, you know, yeah, we could take that as critique, we could take it as negativity, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think, Mighty? I mean, what do you think about my critique? Do you see any validity in it, or do you combat that with like, hey, look, I think that this is a step in the right direction? What do you think?
No, I feel the need for a question about the intention, because for me, what strikes me the most is the scalability of this. I mean, rewarding 5 artists out of potentially more than 3 million artists doesn't really scale to me as a reward system that you promote to everyone.
Completely, totally agree.
So
I mean, given that it's weekly, that's cool. That it's every week. That's great.
And
great.
The algorithms can play an important role on that. That, you know, doesn't only necessarily choose the most famous people or whatever. It can play some interesting dynamics here as well.
Yeah. And look, I do think that I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to entice bigger named people to get involved with Audius. That's clearly the move to me. I don't see this as anything other than that. Like, they are trying their best to entice bigger named artists to get into audio early so that they can incentivize people who already have big names to get involved. And that is like, let's be honest, that's going to benefit the smaller artists at the end of the day, because when you have Drake on Audius, now all of a sudden you just brought 20 million people to Audius. So it is a true thing that one massive artist gets on the platform, it's going to obviously trickle down. But I'm just saying that the way they're moving right now is a little bit it's just, I'm only throwing the skepticism out there because I want to see them benefit the small artist, but it's but yeah, I mean, at least they're moving forward. That's the number one thing, and I know that they're constantly updating the UI, so I think it's good, but
yeah, there's something I can add up to what you said, but I'm not sure about attracting the big. I mean, obviously, every streaming platforms want big artists on its platform. That's a number one logic. But at the same time, you know, the rewards are like 100 audios, or the maximum is 300 audios, and I'm not sure this will attract Drake, at least, or.
Totally true.
Or if the audio token worth $1,000 at some point, which maybe is the goal, you know, I don't know. I haven't done all the tokenomics on audio, but maybe they think 100 audio will represent a huge amount of money for that really deserve to trending artists on with their algorithm, and I don't doubt that. It just make me click like maybe 100 audio is not worth $3,000, but maybe way more at some point. So it can attract Drake, you know, to the point where it can attract Drake if it's the strategy. But again, I'm not really sure.
Well, right. I mean, I use Drake just because he's obviously
he's
like
just an example.
The biggest artist, the most successful artist. I mean, Drake is not going to be a part of Audius. I mean, I'm just gonna say that straight up. There's no way, because if Drake becomes a part of anything blockchain, Drake is way too. People don't like to admit it, but Drake is probably the biggest industry plant of all time. I mean, granted, he makes fucking smashes on smashes. He's never gonna drop a song that isn't an absolute fucking smash hit. But that man is, in my opinion, one of the biggest shills in the game. He is. I mean, dude, the dude started on TV. Come on, man. Like the guy's obviously got some help. I'm not like, but he makes smash hits. Like, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the dude makes
no doubt.
hits.
But yeah, now
We'll
that's
see what's about to
interesting
happen
see.
next. Okay.
That's interesting to see the audio reward system unfolding, and yeah, just wondering and playing with the idea, and we will see how it goes. But yeah, just wanted to relate this new.
But I mean, on a positive note, I do still think Audius is the most forward-thinking streaming protocol in the blockchain world. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. So I mean, despite my criticisms, they come from a place of someone who's very, very excited and very, very bullish. I use that word just because we're in this world for this platform. So I do see that this platform is going to be incredibly huge. It's only going to go up. I only see them doing more and more beneficial things. So I think they're actually. I think they're going to be doing something else in the next couple of weeks as well. But yeah, I mean, so it is good. I know they're going to incorporate NFTs in some fashion, maybe not in the way that we currently are seeing NFTs. I think they're going to do it in a little more of a diverse way. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, with the criticism, I'm still saying Audius is still getting an A from me, because I still think that they're the most forward-thinking platform that we have.
Again, it's about our average point of view, and we are here, you know, to help point our fingers on what doesn't work, just to make it push forward, and, you know, add a little 2 cents to the reflection of it. But that's definitely, like you say, the moves from Audius are mind-blowing, especially these days. Like it's like the picture is kind of slowly coming all together, because it exists since 2018 or 19, and that you know, it was a long road before really people get the perspective of what Audius is. I mean, everyone doesn't read the white paper, and you know, it just at first looks attractive. So there was this whole movement of people moving into Audius, but I do feel like they have a real long-term vision, and maybe you know, definitely brilliant minds behind this, and ballsy guys that are really ballsy. So yeah, I'm kind of fascinated with what they are doing, and I feel like the picture is slowly coming together, and that we are starting to see the dimension of their vision, and it's just the start. So like you said, with NFT on top of that, with the monetization system on top of that, with all kind of things we haven't seen yet, and we don't know a lot of unless you totally read multiple times the white paper for an average artist. So yeah, it's exciting. A lot. Big shout out to them.
Right. And people like us, which are basically, you know, small level independent artists, we are who they should be listening to. So I mean, if my criticism is something that's too much for them, then I really would question their intentions 1000%, because my opinion, I think, would genuinely is who they exactly should be listening to. Not me particularly. I'm not trying to say I'm important. I'm trying to say that my type of person is the type of criticism that they should be listening to, because I'm the type of person who wants to use Audius exclusively. I would love to literally only put my music on Audius, but I have to make sure that, for me particularly, this is the platform that's going to benefit an independent artist more so than they're going to just basically find a way to just, I mean, you know, not make it negative, which I don't want to say too much, but it's so I would say that, you know, criticism is important, and they should be wanting to hear somebody like my perspective on what they're doing. But I think that they are definitely planning to benefit somebody in our.
To me, that's
category.
the history of the metaverse. I mean, from early NFTs, it's all about building on criticism and basically artists hacking the protocols that the developers are trying to with difficulty and put out. But and yeah, you will constantly see disruptive artists that breaks the technology. Like it's the invention of distortion. Someone just invented an amp, and an artist just put a knife and cut the speaker, and saying, "Hey, that sounds better," So that's
Right.
the same thing with NFT. The whole NFT history here, and that's one of my favorite parts is when I see visual artists breaking into a platform's road and just questioning the like the white hats hackers, just seeing where the breaches are to in the intention to perfect the system for the greater good of everyone participating in this decentralized initiative.
Right. Well, yeah, let's stop the fucking Audius hate. No, I'm just playing. No, shout out Audius. Shout out Audius. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to see them continue to move forward. As long as they're moving forward and they're continually adapting the platform, I'm happy with what they're doing ultimately. But the criticism is coming from a very positive place. The criticism is coming from a very genuine place, from someone who's independent, who wants to stay exclusive to Audius ultimately. So if there's anybody from the Audius team in here, shout out. But yeah, I mean, keep it. Think of the little guys too. Think of the little guys too. And I know they are. But hey, let's put some pressure on them. Let's put some pressure on them. Because if we just keep our mouths shut and are like, well, maybe they'll do it one day. That's how you continually get left in the dust. You don't put some pressure on it. So I'm all about it.
Yeah, definitely exciting. So, and we're pretty much at the end of the show, and there's one of two, goodies that I found that I wanted to talk about, and one is really special. It's called Soundchain, and that's the name of the initiative. You can look up at the website soundchain.something, and the idea is an artificial intelligence that reads all the tweets with the hashtag blockchain and connect it to sound to change parameters and generate music. So it's reading Twitter with the Twitter API, all the tweets from that have the keyword blockchain in it, and it generates music out of it. So here is a little sample. It's live right now. It's been live for like 9 hours. It's live. Most of the time it's live. And why don't we hear it? Maybe I have to refresh that. Yeah. So basically, every tweet influences the BPM, the sounds, the drive. Many parameters are set to be influenced by the tweets. And yeah, that gives some interesting hypnotic results. I've been stuck to this for half an hour the other day. It sounds good, actually. It sounds pretty good, like an ambient track. It doesn't sound too MIDI, but yeah, it's crazy because you actually hear the blockchain keyword over Twitter. Can you hear that?
That's the sound of the blockchain. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
Yeah, that's crazy. I love to see this. And yeah, so most of the time I've hit the notification bell. So, you know, I wake up by the morning, I'm like, oh, it's live. I'm going to check some of the blockchain music. And yeah, that's funny. But I don't know what's the next step of this are, but it's definitely interesting to see. The sound of the internet in real time. Let's all meditate. On the blockchain gods.
They definitely got some. They definitely got some analog. They definitely got some analog sounds going though.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good, really. So it could be definitely a soundtrack for a movie. It would work. It's this quality, you know. But yeah, and another goodie I've seen is where is it? It's in Cryptovoxels, and I've lost the tab. But it's Photogrammetry in Cryptovoxels, which is pretty impressive. It's basically pure photogrammetry, and this is not really related to music, but I wanted to bring this back because you, MAiWORLD, had this idea to like do your room in Cryptovoxels, but you know, when it comes to design a whole something realistic from the real world, it can be challenging at some point. And this is from Gene, actually, the metaverse angel that works in VR and do some stuff, and he found a way. I don't quite have the breakdown of the magic here, but it's looks beautiful too. It is actual photogrammetry with the voxes, you know, from Cryptovoxels, and it is crazy. Yeah, just wanted to show this out, but we're pretty much done with the show here tonight. We've done everything.
Hey, kind of an early show. But I feel like we had some good density in this one though. Lots of good topics, lots of good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Rah. We had some rah going in the middle there. I was feeling real solid in the middle. I was really feeling like, wow, squad up. Let's get it.
Maybe I can play this little clip that I've put aside, but it's basically music and the NFT and the music industry, but on Russia Today TV. It's pretty short. Maybe I won't play it entirely, but just to hear the headline of it. No, this one is about crypto, Snoop Dogg and Lionel Richie, but the one I was looking for is here.
So you've heard about crowdsourcing and you've heard about non-fungible tokens, but how do these technologies apply when it comes to the music industry? Well, the latest trend could just be combining the two in a partnership that gives fans exclusive access to their favorite artist. So joining me now to discuss is Steve Stewart, co-founder and CEO of Vest. Your company has been called the stock market of music. So how does it work and how is it attracting fans to invest?
Well, the media really called us that. It works really simply. It's a mobile app on iOS or Android. You can download the app. It's as simple as putting in a credit card. You can scroll through our offerings. We call them ISOs, initial song offerings. And fans are able to put in as little as $5 against the royalty income of a particular song. So it works really well. We've seen interest building a lot recently. I think people are starting to recognize that music is an uncorrelated asset class, that a lot of bigger players have been playing in this pond for a long time. You've got music publishers like Universal, BMG, Sony. They've got millions and millions of songs in their catalog. And I think the general public has been building in demand to participate. They've never had a chance before. So we're really the first opportunity to let someone come in and participate right alongside the artist and the royalties.
Yeah, it's really interesting to think about just how many artists can be a part of this, ranging from those who have a massive following to those who may just be starting out. And you know, you talk about those who are more established and how it would be easier for them to crowdsource their work. But how does this work for those up and coming artists who are still trying to establish a following?
So we work for both independent artists and established artists. We had an artist named Julian Extra, one of our first people on the platform. He had a very small fan base of about 3,000 Facebook fans, and he was able to take, I think, $9,000 or $10,000 in earnings from royalties off the platform early from his fans because he had engagement. And really what it's about is engagement. He was able to go into those 3,000 fans and have them participate to the point where he could quit driving Lyft and actually focus his music career full time, something that he couldn't do before. And I think you'd rather have 10,000 fans that were engaged versus a million fans that maybe didn't know who you were, didn't really participate in the things you were doing. So it's more about engagement, but we work both with independent and major artists.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, and it is interesting to see. We're kind of in the rise of the influencer space, right, where you want to follow people on Instagram and Twitter who you really relate to, and I guess that is the same when it comes to artists. And with the music you listen to, you really want to get that connection with the person you're listening to who wrote that song instead of just passively listening to it. Now, when it comes to NFTs, we know that blockchain technology plays a big role in ensuring the exclusivity of products. How does it play a role in your business model for artists and for their work?
I mean, NFTs are the talk of the town right now. I've had maybe 5 phone calls even this morning just discussing this, and the industry is just buzzing with it. But for us, we touch it very lightly. We launched our app 2.5 years ago. We know that it's still a nascent technology. We use it as a way of a digital ledger, basically. It's a transactional platform that allows us to show every sale, every participation point is loaded on the blockchain, so it's transparent and you can see it and it's immutable. I think there's a lot of people that are trying to tokenize everything all the time, and that doesn't really work when you're playing with global players like Sony, Universal, and Warner Brothers. Yeah. They're only accepting fiat currency at this point. So we're playing within the realm of now, but we're looking forward, and we know that blockchain is really going to be where things are when it comes to rights management and the way to participate.
Yeah, that's fascinating because you're including blockchain along with crowdsourcing and giving this new platform. And so it's likely to get people to at least check it out just to see what's going on and what it's all about. Now, one of the perks you offer is that fans have the ability to earn royalties on the music they invest in. But I want to know, how does the music streaming industry play into this when royalties may be only a fraction of a penny per song on, say, Spotify?
I mean, streaming is only a fraction of the royalty pool, right? You're getting royalties on a global basis from radio play, from downloads, from physical purchases. Believe it or not, in certain markets like Japan, people are still buying CDs and vinyl. Also, when it's played in a restaurant or a bar or a club or any public venue, those venues are paying a licensing fee to, in the US, it's ASCAP and BMI. Overseas, it's different collecting societies in different countries. But that is the overall pool of royalties. So streaming, as you're exactly correct, is paying very, very small fractions right now. I think that's also going to increase as you get more participation with streaming in second and third world countries where it doesn't exist right now, right? We take it for granted here in the US and some of the European countries where you just think, oh, you press a button and the music comes on. But in certain markets, like even South Korea, Spotify has just launched there, which is a huge market with K-pop. So I think as you see more and more people come into streaming, the rates themselves will go up. There's been a lot of governmental pushes to get those rates increased for the artists. And there's also these other types of streaming income or royalty income coming from PRO, performing rights, again, like restaurants, bars, clubs, radio, movie, trailers, any other sync licensing opportunities. So streaming is just a piece of that.
Yeah, and that's fascinating to see. I mean, you're in a market where things keep growing and changing every single day. And it's interesting because we've heard about artists talk a lot about lately this importance of owning their own music. You know, they don't just want to sign off on that contract with the big record label and then not own the rights to it. Instead, they're talking about the importance of ownership for those words that they write. Do you think that we are seeing a shift away from just signing those contracts with big name labels that could end up redefining the music industry as we know it?
100%. It's been happening a lot lately, but you're going to see a seismic shift in the industry, and the ownership is the key, right? And with a platform like Vest, we have reversion, so the rights aren't just gone forever. But you're seeing even in major label deals now, there's typically a 10-year reversion on the master rights. So these rights will revert to the artist over time, but as additional platforms come up, as NFTs get more popular, and there's a way to have that direct artist-to-fan connection, which is something I think has been missing from the music business. You've got all these intermediaries in the middle. But once you start to remove that and have that direct fan participation where the real passion is. Their fans are paying $300 for a ticket, $60 for a t-shirt. They're the ones that really are going to bring a retail value to the music rights. We haven't seen it yet. It's starting to happen, but I think labels and publishers are going to have to adjust their models to account for this type of direct marketing. I mean, with social media and distribution platforms being pretty much free to artists and creatives, they can go direct. And if you can engage that fan base, you can make more money than you would if you signed to a major label.
Yeah. Excellent points to consider here. Steve Stewart, thank you so much for your time and insight.
Yeah, he's right in many ways. I haven't seen the video, and so definitely check out Vest, V-E-Z-T, which is his app. But yeah, that's what do you think, MAiWORLD? It's just crazy for me to see this on Russia TV with the, you know, the whole television set and stuff, and, you know, all the mimics from the television. So having the NFT and music industry topics here live with a guest talking about it on live TV, especially Russia Today, is you know, blowing my eyes. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is like really shocking. I mean, like I was watching this, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this exists? Like, what is this? Like,
yeah, that's how you feel about it.
I mean, like, I mean, it was a lengthy video. I was just like, I'm trying to understand how this is real, and we, like, me and you haven't necessarily talked about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
How we haven't seen this yet, because this is exactly what we're like all kind of in our heads thinking we need to do. Because I mean, I believe the day that you can invest in an independent artist's music like that, is the day that we see music go to a whole nother level of monetary and financial success. That market's going to blow the fuck up. Because I always think about sports. People are so hyped. Dude, sports is only as popular as it is because people can fucking bet on it. That's the facts.
Yeah.
People only want to bet on. So you got fantasy football. I mean, half these, nobody gives a shit about these as much as they care about how much money that athlete's about to make them. That's kind of, I mean, all my friends, all they do is bet on sports. They're 26 years old, and all they do is throw money every week at sports. And they make a lot of money. I like watching sports too, but how much better is that game going to be when you have $1,000 on the team that you want to win, or when you got 3 of your players on a fantasy squad that you hope scores a goal, or you hope it makes a touchdown, whatever. Like, that is what makes it exciting. And it's the same concept with music. You put that psychology into the hands of a fan that loves music, they're gonna be like, yeah, I fuck with that artist, but now I fuck with that artist 3,000 times more because I just invested $1,000 into them. That is what's going to change the economy of music. So
definitely, and we are talking here in France with my buddies a lot of betting on music, you know, like a sports app would do, and emerge the idea of trading music a lot. So yeah, this definitely makes sense. I mean, for years, that's how we see artists, you know, having, you know, bear market, bull market, and but this on a music carrier. And so why not make this public and decentralized so that everyone can access and participate in an artist economy through, you know, exploiting this bull and bear. I mean, all music carriers are only made of bull and bear up and down trends. I know no artist ever that was on the same line all the way. So it always moves slightly a little bit, even though one succeeds in keeping a career level on top, you know, or doing right. But there's always evolutions on upside or downside. And yeah, so basically it makes sense a lot to have this bet system and see how it goes. Maybe it doesn't catch, but I'm pretty sure it will catch a lot and make the audience even more crazier about their artist and music that they've ever been, because they will be emotionally even more engaged, and we will see the GameStop in music, you know, the East Coast and West Coast version Web3, where you know, economic power will drive emotions of everyone based on the art and the collectives and stuff. So yeah, that makes sense a lot, and that's the perfect thing to close the week, I believe.
Definitely. And by the way, East Coast is always going to dominate West Coast because most of West Coast music comes from the East Coast. They just moved to the West Coast. That's typically how I see it.
Keep seeing it through those rosy glasses.
we got a debate going? We got a debate going?
No. I'm just playing. But West Coast represents.
West Coast steals.
Sure. I'm neutral, I'm near the Swiss, so it's kind of like I'm Swiss.
Listen, I mean, like, I'm from Pittsburgh, and it's a very unknown fact that what they call what's the word? G-funk. They think G-funk came from West Coast. Nah, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. There are so many people from there's a little. Look up a guy named Mailman, and look up a guy named Sam Snead. Both of them are the real creators of what we would call G-funk. Mailman is a producer. Sam Snead is an artist. They came from Pittsburgh, and then they moved to LA, and they worked with Mailman in particular moved to LA and worked with Dr. Dre and that whole crew. And basically, all right, saying Pittsburgh is not East Coast is such a stretch. Are we closer to the? Are we close? A lot of people say it's Midwest, but I don't really fuck with that. Like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that personally. I say we're East Coast.
I'm going.
It don't
to
make any
turn
sense to say
the dramatic music.
We're Midwest.
No, it's you do have a good point that a lot of the West Coast musicians have, kind of migrated that way, and not necessarily OGs to the West Coast. I've been lucky enough to spend time on both coasts and pretty much get down with everybody.
I mean,
no, I'm just talking that shit. Don't get me wrong. Like,
it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we just got to keep the beef going. It just keeps something. You know what I mean? It's like.
From the French perspective, both are killing. Everyone is killing the same way, so it's cool. But yeah, these stories have been fascinating. From looking from Europe, that we grew with these stories without really living them. We lived them in the college and stuff, but it was all an illusion, something we didn't really lived in our lives. Like you did, being in the United States, but all the music that came from both sides, and north and south, and the outcast stories and everything, to us it just made great music, and everyone has his own color, but they are all good. It's like the competition doesn't have to happen. But I don't know, it's human to have emotion and create this huge phenomenon over music genres and music events throughout history.
Hell yeah. No, I just like to start a pot. Don't worry. I still fuck with my West Coast peoples.
All right, folks. I think we're done for this week. And that was pretty cool to talk about all these topics.
Hell yeah. No, shout out everybody in here, whether you're from the East Coast, West Coast, or Midwest,
or in
Pittsburgh
Europe,
is not a part of.
Or in Asia, everywhere, in Africa, in Australia, in the Atlantic, Antarctica. And I wish we have people listening from Antarctica, actually. But thank you for the chat and TokenSmart as well. The energy is crazy. It's crazy to be able to talk to you guys and have this feedback in real time, and even participating in real time like Bruce did, and it's all welcome. And like we said, we would love to have at some point some clubhouse vibe to have different people giving their take live over those different topics, because this is our average perspective from it, but definitely we're not the only one in the room to be able to come on those. So anytime feel free to raise your hand like in Clubhouse. And I'm still out of Clubhouse. I'm still jealous, to not be there already. But no, it's all good, and I wish everyone a good week. And definitely exciting things coming up this week. And pretty excited to be next week already. continuing this analysis and stuff. I'm working on, thinking about the next guest as well. So we definitely will have some participation coming. And yeah, so stay tuned and stay MightyMai, something like that.
Hell yeah. No, shout out everybody. Always a good time chatting. Squad up. Squad up.
Squad it up. Make a song. Squad it up like the let's get it,
Yeah. Well, cool, dude. Hey, you want to ride us out with some what is this, the sound block or block music chain sound?
Oh, Soundchain. Yeah. Some suspense to close this out. And yeah, shout out to Soundchain for this. And see you all next week. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye TokenSmart. Squad it up.
What up? What up?
Upcoming single Mighty33 MAiWORLD. Squad it up. And as you can see, I think we are the only one watching this live stream. On Twitter. Bye bye.